matter what system of knowledge, that you take what resonates and leave the rest. The thing is, though, in order to be a projector that is successful, it needs to be that you stick with something long enough. And that's a difficulty for a 3. I'm talking about 3 because that's me, my personality, consciousness, core essence, grounding and balance, sun, earth. I'm a cross of contagion. Hi, nice to meet you in case I haven't yet. So when it comes to the process of individuation, in the attunement to the source within you, only you intrinsically know what to do. This is the end of the false guru. It's time for a new era, a new age, an era of the individual sleeping phoenix on the rise, abundance in great disguise. Can you feel it? Can you feel the intrinsic value that you know to be true inside of you? If only, the mind says, if only. And what it does is it tries to change what it thinks should be different. If only. I could, if only, if only. If only this would change, if only that would change. Guess what? This is the moon. Change is a constant. This is where inspiration is coming from. This is the driving force of the moment. Tranquility. 6 lines here to be tranquil. The need to calmly face impermanence is what you're learning about in your lifetime. If you have this, hi, I do too. I have this. This is where I fulfill my life's work, where there is nothing constant except change. Duration. Yeah, duration. What can endure? Change. That's it. On one side, the underlying acceptance of change that may or may not lead to tranquility. Pluto exalts. The instinctive awareness to accept change and transformation. If you're ready to accept change and transformation, that might be for you. On the flip side, Neptune detriments. Impermanence as proof of meaningless with its attendant manifestations. Depression, delusion, and in the extreme, self-destruction. The fear engendered when change is experienced as impermanence and the potential for depression. Now, when you look at a body graph, okay, let's open up Laveena's chart so I can explain something. I wish somebody had told me this quite sooner, like incredibly valuable information, something really, really helpful to you, to all of us, what I know to be true. Okay, so I'm going to put on my advanced imaging and I guess I want it like that. I want you to look down at your body graph, okay? Open it up. I'll be here. Pause the video, unless you're watching live, of course. Okay, so we're going to grab a marker so I can point it out to you. And I remember learning this in, I don't know exactly when it was, which year, but I know I was in differentiation degree program. And that is a very detailed level of the knowledge. So I'm circling something that's going to disappear in a moment. You see this, the little horseshoes, up and down horseshoes, the nodes of the moon. So when the nodes of the moon, and this is where my gate 32.6 imprint is, the north node. When the nodes of the moon look down into your body graph now, and you're going to see that potentially those gate activations are in a defined center or in an undefined center. If you are like me, I want you to pay attention. Listen up, okay? The 27 and the 28 in my case on the body side, the 32 and the 42 in my case on the mind side. Both of these are in undefined centers. What does that mean? It means there's no consistency in the life. So you have a projector who is here to be focused, penetrating, and absorbing. Superpower is recognition, which is a two-way street, and here to operate through formal invitation to the big things in life. What to do for work, where to go to live, who to love, who to bond with. When you see someone like this now, that's a repeating pattern of projector is here to know the other, not self, not the self, know the other. So when you have a projector running amok like Laveena was, hi, that's me, willy-nilly making decisions on the up or down wave because of the emotional system, what you have here is a life that is filled with regret and shame and bitterness and resentment at making decisions in an attempt to be seen, valued, appreciated, loved, not abandoned, as what this human being had the experience of as a child. So when you see in an undefined center, now these are gates that are activated, but they are not functioning in the same way as gates that are in a defined center. They are in an undefined center. And what that literally means is that there is a dependency on others in order to have continuity within the life. And so if we hear a repeating pattern, dependency on others, needing to know others, we hear the term others. This is a life that is focused on others, even though the internal construct of the life purpose fulfillment is on personal destiny. It's not transpersonal karma. It's a personal destiny, right angles, all of you have to fulfill. So now please don't ask me about what if it's only one of them? It's all four in an undefined center. You need to pay attention. Listen up if it's right for you to hear my voice, to experiment too. Everything for you, especially if you're a projector, is about the right people in your life. How do we know who is the right person in our lives? How do we know? How do we know? You know when you know, you know? Sorry, don't mean to be cute. But when you're individual, like me, hi, you know when you know. And the emotional intelligence system with which this one is here to reliably trust, because the wave up is so sneaky and sweet. And the wave down can be just as sweet and yet devastating too. What to do? What we find when we experiment with design is that projectors, the big things in life, strategy and authority, hey, guess what? Sorry to break it to you, not enough. It's not enough to only trust your decision-making strategy and authority. I'm not dogging on it. It's a great place to start. However, you look at somebody who has an emotional system and a right-facing variable arrow on the brain-body system, you're looking at somebody who has a problem. They've been conditioned, deeply so, over this lifetime. And the emotional intelligence all gunked up, because the brain-body system runs the software. This is the software, the personality. The hardware is the design. So what you'll find, if it's right for you to experiment too with diving deeper into the 4 transformations, you may, I'm not guaranteeing it for you, you may find that Ra's promise is true, like me. That your own individuality, your sovereign nature of being, indeed the way that your brain functions, radically different at the end of 7 years. It was 2013. It was right close to my birthday, which is in February, like somewhere at the end of January, that I got my first real analyst training, or analysis from Kumud Kabir. And she told me, you're going to be drinking buckets of ice water. And not knowing that I was Aspergian, I took her quite literally and drank buckets of ice water. And unfortunately, living in Mount Shasta with undiagnosed Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism, bouncing back and forth, I did great damage to this physical body. And this is why it's so important to make sure that you are going to somebody who actually knows what it is that they're talking about, rather than whatever it is that they may have learned in a weekend course or on Instagram, because there is a danger here when it comes to making decisions that you can trust for you, reliably so. It has to be that you are actualizing the truest, authentic nature of you. And please, I don't like it when people say, you know, as a trite saying, well, if you're not able to follow it, then you're doing it wrong. No, I'm not saying that. But the education is so important. The information is so critical. And step by step, as you experiment with being your own authority, you can find what is reliably, trustworthily, most deservedly fixed inside your nature of being that you can trust. You can. You can trust it. You know you can once you've deconditioned and aligned. But these kind of people, very hard to get there. So we start with the brain body system first. If you've got a right brain body system, this right facing top left variable arrow facing right, this means then you might be having a hard time following a strategy and authority. For a projector, 6 months it takes potentially, maybe, for somebody to invite you to the big things in life. Your strategy is not for the little things. It's not. It is so not. You have recognition capacity as part of who you are for others in this life, even if it be to your own personal destiny. So what do we do while we wait? We study, we master, whatever it is we have the recognition capacity to do, to use our time for, and see the other through. Now, once you've gone through the brain-body system, and then you are drawn to the right place. Around my Saturn return, I was living at the top of a high-rise in downtown San Diego, lost everything, lots of things, lots of houses in the crash 2008. Found myself living homeless, no home for a while, living in a car, and then getting, thank God, an RV. And at that point, life was really dark. You ever go through a 30s and you have a real nail biter on your hands, as far as your movie is concerned, there's a lot of things going on. Oh, man, it was really dark. And coming out of that, I was a oneness blessing giver. And one of the people there gave me this recognition. Hey, you got to go see this guy do this 5-MeO, kind of like DMT. I'm like, okay. Went, gave him $100 and did that thing that, whatever it was, had this blissful experience of sudden knowing of truth. And then it was gone. And then he took me by the shoulders and he said, you need to learn this. Once he ran my human design and showed me that I was a projector, not the busy manifesting generator that I had attempted to be and live, burning the back candle at both ends and overdoing. Getting invited into the remote mountains of Northern California, Mount Shasta area, was one of the best things for my deconditioning process. I spent a lot of time alone after breaking the bond with the man who brought me up there. We broke the bond and we lived alone off and on together, but living in the remote mountains, no car, very, very poor, studying, waiting for the invitation. And then something shifted. My voice changed. I could finally listen to my voice and love it. I listened to this voice that spoke and I went, where did that come from? I didn't know I knew that. How did I know that? Wow, that's really inspiring. That's really amazing. Took some years to get there. Took some years to see the personal perspective, this is what it be over here, for truth, as in looking within in order to see the world without. And then when you're seeing in the aligned way of being for you, even though life may come with its challenges and its upsets, what happens is your motivational frequency, you become cleaner in your awareness principle of what is true for you. And that right there is the jewel at the center of the lotus for a projector like me. Projector, the only thing you can trust is your recognition capacity, your authoritative principle, and your awareness. If you want to know instantaneously if someone is right or not for you, you have no sacral center defined. What do you do? What do you do? You can be aware of this being, this energy frequency within your auric field and what it does as far as you penetrating, focusing, absorbing, and taking on that other person's awareness, their being. they're doing. Yeah, they're doing or they're manifesting, depending on who they are and what they bring to the table. So the process for projector is much longer to experiment, because big things in life don't come along every day, because there is a depth and a level of detail that most people don't need to get to, not in order to know truth. You ask a sacral generator being, spontaneous response being, a yes, no question, you get the truth. It's either uh-huh, or no answer. I don't know, not now. No, not for me. I'm not responding. But for a projector, the more intelligent you are, the more fucked up you are in the system. You know why? Because your mind can absolutely make up all kinds of stupid this, that, and the other thing, as far as reasons, as far as storytelling, as far as what it is. And because you think you know what it is, you go do that, think that you know what it is, to be able to strategize in order to get what you want, what you think you want. It's not even what you want. It's what the transit and the people around you want. So you can hear when Laveena gets quite serious, the Saturn's coming alive, the stories being shared. I hope that was of value to you. And if you want to connect with me, do you know what to do? Office at humandesignlifecoaching.com if it's for me, my personal courses, services, anything to do with my work. And if you have big picture questions when it comes to the system of knowledge, you can write to me, Laveena at joveenarchive.com, where I can see what is true for you. But when it comes to my earlier invite, what systems are you studying, projectors? What is it? Thank you so much, honey. What is it that you're learning, that you're developing, that you're growing through? I would love to hear from you. Until next time, namaste. Much love to you.